Hello, and welcome to WSTB Clarksville. I'm Richard Wesley, and I'm here in the St. Bethlehem studio with our co-host, Ashley Kettle. Ashley, it is great to see you today.
Great to see you, Richard.
Let's just start right in with what's going to happen this weekend in our traditional worship service. In that traditional service this week, we have Mark chapter 6, a story that starts in verse 14, goes through 29, and I'm titling this teaching, Political Misadventures and Consequences. Political Misadventures and Consequences. The theme of this discussion will be the challenge of faithful living. Because, it is hard to live faithfully for Christ.
It is, yes.
And the story has two brothers in it, Herod and Philip. Now, this isn't Herod the Great, this is his son. And so it's his son Philip and his son Herod. And Philip is married, and Philip's wife and Herod hook up. Yeah, it's not good, is it?
Nope.
Yeah, they hook up, and she divorces Philip and marries Herod. Now, if you're a connoisseur of the law of Moses, this is called incest. It's very serious. And John the Baptizer cannot remain silent about this. And John gets in a lot of trouble over this. In fact, you might say he loses his head over this whole thing. But we're going to get a lot of the background information about this story coming from the Jewish Roman historian Titus Flavius Josephus. Things that original audience of Mark's would have known that's not so common to us today. So we're going to look at all of that this Sunday. That's this Sunday at 9 a.m. It's going to be a great service.
Every time I learn something new about the Mosaic Law, I'm shocked. It makes me thankful that I'm not bound by that law and that I'm living in the 21st century. Speaking of the 21st century, Don't you have some news that could, potentially make all our lives better?
Well, I don't know if it'll make all of our lives better, but it is kind of fun and exciting when you realize that we have a brand new batch of emojis. Yeah, they were released June the 5th. So they've been out for a little over a month now, but some of us don't even realize that we've got all of these new emojis. These are, they're called the Unicode 11.0. So that's where we are on the scale of emojis for those of you that are interested in that kind of thing. And there are 157 brand new emojis that you've never had on your cell phone before that are going to be coming your way. If you don't have them already, there's this new batch that's coming in for you.
I only use like 4 right now.
Oh, you're going to use at least one more. The 3 of my favorite ones coming out of this new batch. Bagels. I mean, who doesn't love bagels? I love bagels with cream cheese. But bagels are now an emoji. Yeah, and you know that little DNA model that you look at it and you go, oh, that means DNA. That's now an emoji. But my favorite. My favorite, now we have toilet paper. Toilet paper is an emoji. I mean, how have you lived without toilet paper being an emoji?
That is a good question.
Well, you don't have to answer it anymore because it is now an emoji. We talked about that traditional worship service. Let me tell you what's going on in the Exploring Life in Christ. Now, that's our 11 o'clock service. It's a biblical study worship experience. We are going through the Gospel of Mark verse by verse. And this Sunday we're in chapter 4 beginning with verse 35. We are going to learn something about interpreting Mark's Gospel this week that if you don't pay close attention to reading Mark's Gospel, you might not pick it up. Because the other Gospel authors, Mark and Luke, and certainly John as well, they don't pay attention to the geography like Mark does. We're going to learn why it's important to pay attention to the geography in Mark's Gospel, because it is important to know where they are in the message that they're giving. That'll make sense this coming Sunday. We're going to be looking at that. Hey!
Yes.
Don't you have a top 5 list to share with us today? Something exciting about you?
I do.
I've been looking forward to this. We're going to learn about Ashley. And so, Ashley's top 5.
I don't know that it's exciting.
Oh, it is.
You might come up with a better word afterwards. Today's top 5 is things that freaked me out as a kid and still do.
Oh, and still good.
Number 5, weeping willows. 4, escalators. Canned biscuits.
Why? Why canned biscuits?
Yeah, don't do that. You never know when they're gonna pop. Number 2, quicksand.
Quicksand. Wow.
All the 80s shows, you always had someone drowning in quicksand.
You know, I remember that.
And number 1, spontaneous combustion. I know that's how I'm gonna go. All that's gonna be left of me are my legs.
You know that would have made sense if you had the '80s big hair with all of that hairspray and you were smoking cigarettes.
Well, I've got the big hair, but not the cigarette.
Well, maybe you won't spontaneously combust.
If you just find my legs in the office one day.
We know what happened to Ashley. Oh, hey, stay tuned next week when you hear Ashley's top 5, and it's going to be the worst things about being a lefty in a world made for right-handed people. So, it's not just having fun watching them write. There's other things. Thank you, Ashley, for those top 5. Well, it is time for us to conclude our time here. So let me close by giving you a over-the-top humorous little story here.
All right.
Did you know that you, in polite circles and conversation, when you're, wanting to be polite and kind and you don't want to get anything, messed up, you never say 288. Not in polite conversation. Never say 288. Never.
Why not?
Because it's too gross. I mean, 144 is gross enough.
Yes.
288?
Too gross.
It's 2 of those bad boys. Hey, it's been great sharing this time with you. We can't wait to see you Sunday morning. We'll see you next week. Goodbye. 288?
288.
You sure?
Wait long enough. I'm gonna have to shoot that buddy.